Picture two young lovers on a dusty back road, speeding away from the law, the Texas sun setting behind them. This is the story of Bonnie Parker and Clyde Barrow, a.k.a. Bonnie and Clyde, the infamous duo who captured America's imagination during the Great Depression. Bonnie Parker and Clyde Barrow, born into poverty in Texas, met in January 1930. Their bond quickly grew strong, and their shared frustrations with poverty led them down a path of crime. Along with their gang, Bonnie and Clyde started a series of robberies, burglaries, and car thefts, targeting small stores and rural gas stations. This kept them constantly on the move and often unreachable by the law. The Barrow Gang, including members like Clyde's brother Buck and his wife Blanche, often turned violent, leading to multiple deaths. Infamous photographs of Bonnie and Clyde with guns and cigars published in newspapers romanticized their image. The press portrayed them as daring lovers on the run, captivating the public. Behind the exciting news stories was a life that was always in danger. The FBI went after them non-stop, and notable heists showed how bold and desperate they were. On May 23, 1934, law enforcement officers led by Texas Ranger Frank Hamer ambushed and killed Bonnie and Clyde in Bienville Parish, Louisiana. The young couple, symbols of rebellion and romance, met a violent end. Bonnie and Clyde's story has been retold in countless movies, books, and songs. They show how eager people were for freedom and breaking the rules during one of America's worst times. Their story continues to interest and inspire us, showing us how thin the line is between need and guilt. The Bonnie and Clyde story might be the most familiar one out there, but wait until you hear the following story, which changed American history forever. Think back to a time when getting across the United States meant months of dangerous travel through rough landscapes. The dream of connecting the East and West Coast seemed like a distant fantasy. But with the clatter of iron wheels and the puffing of steam engines, the Transcontinental Railroad became a symbol of modernity and national progress, forever changing America. In the mid-19th century, the idea of a coast-to-coast railroad was revolutionary, promising unity and progress. But building it was met with strong resistance, especially from Native American groups whose lands were being taken over. Despite these challenges, the Transcontinental Railroad connected the bustling East with the untamed West. Goods and people could now move across the country, fueling economic growth and creating new opportunities. But this amazing feat of engineering cost plenty of human lives. Chinese and other immigrant workers did most of the work, which they did in horrible conditions for very little pay, in bad weather, doing extremely dangerous jobs. As the final spike was driven into the ground on May 10, 1869, in Promontory Summit, Utah, a new era was born. The West's environment and population patterns were changed forever, bringing the country together and pushing it to growth and opportunity on a scale that had never been seen before. But if you thought the Transcontinental Railroad made a lasting impact alone, you're wrong. Imagine a small town in Massachusetts in the early 19th century. Amidst the quiet streets and simple homes, Orrin Porter Rockwell was born on June 28, 1813. His life would soon intertwine with one of the most dynamic religious movements in American history, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, also known as the LDS Church. From a young age, Rockwell was drawn to the teachings of Joseph Smith, the charismatic founder of the LDS Church. When Rockwell became a Christian, it was the beginning of an unbreakable bond that made him a highly loyal bodyguard who was known for his commitment and intimidating presence. In the Wild West, Rockwell protected Joseph Smith and later Brigham Young, Smith's successor. His reputation grew from countless acts of bravery, often placing himself in the line of fire to defend his leaders. Rockwell's fierce loyalty was both his strength and curse. Involved in numerous conflicts, including the Mormon Wars in Missouri and Illinois, as a bouncer, Rockwell was often in the middle of a fight. His involvement in events like the Mountain Meadows Massacre remains covered in mystery and controversy. As the Mormons migrated westward to Utah, Rockwell's skills as a frontiersman really showed. He became a lawman and scout, known for his extraordinary marksmanship and tracking abilities. The things Rockwell did became famous. Gun stories about Rockwell's almost magical skills make him both a folk hero and a notorious outlaw. His life was mixed with bravery, loyalty, and controversy. Despite different opinions on what he did, Rockwell's legacy is undeniably etched into the history of the American Old West. But if you thought Rockwell's story was spectacular, then let me tell you the story about the biggest heists of the Wild West. Picture this: a young boy named Sam Bass, born on July 21, 1851 in Mitchell, Indiana. Orphaned early, he sought purpose in Texas as a farmhand and cowboy, but his restlessness didn't go away. After looking for gold in the mines in the Black Hills of South Dakota in the middle of the 1870s, Sam came back empty-handed. Nearing hopelessness, he turned to a life of breaking the law. In the Wild West, Sam found his calling, robbing stagecoaches and leaving confused victims behind. On September 18, 1877, he stole $60,000 in gold coins from a Union Pacific train at Big Springs, Nebraska. This was the start of his real fame. Sam joined forces with Frank Jackson, Seaborn Barnes, and Henry Underwood to form the Bass Gang when he got rich. They were famous criminals who committed a lot of thefts across Texas. There were rumors that Sam gave some of his money to the poor, which made his story more like Robin Hood's. Law enforcement, including Texas Rangers and Pinkerton detectives, pursued Sam relentlessly. The chase ended on July 19, 1878, in Round Rock, Texas, during a botched bank robbery. Rangers attacked and shot Sam. He died 2 days later, on his 27th birthday, from his wounds. In the past of the American frontier, Sam Bass's name lives on as a mix of desire, rebellion, and short-lived victory, inspiring books, songs, and if Sam were alive today, he'd subscribed to the channel. His story reminds us of the Wild West's timeless allure, where dreams and dangers walked hand in hand.